1 month of doing these practices in the book that are incorporated, the research is incorporated in these tools for people that like the data to say, oh, this just feels nice, but it's actually creating change. 1 month in doing these practices, cortisol went down on average 23%, and DHEA went up, which is a precursor hormone for vitality, for fertility, went up 100%. So when we are, Dr. Roland McCready, who we did the research study with from HeartMath, one thing he always says is emotions run the show. Emotions run the show. So what he means by that is when we think of stress, it's not really the traffic or it's not really that email. It's our emotional response to what's happening. 2 minutes of irritation put into motion 1,500 different biochemical processes that ultimately drain our energy. So what's really powerful about this heart work is we're not pushing it down. We're not trying to not experience this full spectrum, but it gives you the ability through heart coherence to digest and metabolize these emotions, which are energy in motion, so that you're able to stay in your heart. There's a practice in the Steady Heart chapter called Heart Aligned Steady in Life. So when the big emotions come, you don't identify with them. You don't go into them, which research also shows from Dr. Aaron Siegman can actually reinforce those neural networks. So they're there, but when you stay in heart coherence, they can actually digest. So maybe it's helpful to describe a little bit about the 5 heart stages.
Yes, let's do that.
Because I think what's really powerful is for everyone to know and to have this framework where you are in your life in a moment and in a period. Because the stages are fluid. So we could feel more in the steady heart, but there's a moment we see something on the news or something comes up and we could have a dark heart moment of fear or overwhelm or whatever it is. So what's really powerful about the work and the tools is that it allows you to spend more time in the higher stages. And when you have these moments, you can get out faster and faster. And what happens with heart coherence is the more you do the practices, your coherence capacity builds and builds, your baseline builds, which basically means your ability to feel more clear, centered, resilient against stress. Your energy keeps going up and up. So I'll say, Kelly, personally,
which is why your life has changed so much.
Well, first of all, I thought I had a lot of energy before. When I've been working on healthy nutrition and I work out and do walks, I do all sorts of things, I use non-toxic products. I would say on average, my energy is up 60%. And the reason? All the little, remember, 2 minutes of irritation, the little ups and downs, like the little worries or the fears. So this has just brought me into this place of centeredness, so much lightness, peace. And I've been, studying yoga and meditation for 15 years, Kelly. Then I'd meditate, and then the day I'd start to feel the heart is presence, it's power in this moment. I would say my relationship with my husband is 90% better. Why? Because there's this big love. But then, daily life, like, oh, you left the dirty socks on the ground. My old, trauma from my past, not being seen. I'm like, you're disrespecting me.
Yeah.
And then his trauma is, don't try to control me. So there was a moment a couple weeks ago where I don't like clutter. I want it to be clean. My husband likes stuff. He's like a biohacker. And then he'll leave the boxes out. So there was a moment, Kelly, like a real life moment where we came home and there was all these boxes on the porch. And I just, that old pattern, right? The reactivity comes sometimes faster before we can think. And I kind of say, oh, more stuff again. And then he snapped back, I'm allowed to get my stuff, right? So in the past, it would just be, these jabs, hour or two, maybe the whole evening of tension. The kids would feel it. It's just this incoherence, like not how we want to live life. So in that moment, I did the Heart Align Harmonize in Life practice, which you can do to 3 to 10 seconds. I just looked at the boxes. I went into my heart. I did the practice, the breath technique. And then I turned to him, Kelly. It was like amazing. I said, oh, I came across really sharp, but I would really appreciate if you would put the boxes away, like clear, strong, but from the heart.
Yeah.
And you know what? He said, okay. He put the boxes away. So when we're in coherence, there's a different energy. We can talk about the energetic field of the heart after the heart stages, but you show up differently. So it's not that we're to be trampled upon. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to, suppress myself. You can express your needs, but it's not the egoic friction, the chaos.
Yeah.
There's more coherence in the family.
Yeah.
It's just where you want to be.
I had that experience this morning and we'll get to the 5 stages, I promise. But it's so subtle. And I've only been practicing and listening to you on audio about these things. So I haven't even really been practicing. It's just a new awareness and just dropping in as you're guiding me through these exercises, which we're going to guide through one or two today.
Yes.
But this morning I woke up after I had released a lot and got out of ego and calmed back down, and I shifted last night. Woke up and it had that same experience where I called and I was just very vulnerable, and I said, this is how this situation is making me feel. This is what I need to stay in kind of from you to stay in peace. And it was just clear, non-reactive, very vulnerable, and just
beautiful,
harmonious and sweet. It wasn't like, you're making me feel this way or this. It's just like, this is how I'm feeling, and this is what I could really use. I'm just going to plant a seed. This is what I could use from you to help me stay soft.
Win-win.
Yeah.
This is the power of the heart.
Yeah.
So the stages.
Okay. I'll shut up now.
No, but this is a perfect segue in, because as we go through the stages, we can think about the moments and the decisions that get made in certain stages and how that plays out, you know, for all of us to reflect. So the first stage is the dark heart. Dark. Not as in evil, right? Dark sounds kind of sinister, but dark is in, Kelly, you don't see. So imagine if we turn off all the lights in this room. You try to walk across the room. Maybe you bang your elbow, maybe you fall and hurt yourself, or maybe you fall and hurt someone else. So dark means incoherence. Scientifically, heart and brain aren't speaking. So this is where fear, overwhelm, that reactivity, or lack of energy, it's hard to get off the couch, slothfulness, confusion, overwhelm. Now, let's say a little bit more energy comes up. Let's say you make a lifestyle choice, or there's a kind of shift. Now there's more coherence. Heart and brain are starting to talk a bit more, but now you're in the propelled heart. So think about propelled. Now you're in action, right? I got to get in better shape. I got to get more followers on TikTok. I got to do. So the problem with this stage, as Swami Sri Yukteswar describes it from a Vedic perspective, restlessness, which is the opposite of peace. So this is where you're checking things off the box. Okay, do this. You're not really there. You're not really enjoying life. You're not peaceful. So this is the stage where you're externally oriented. What do people think of me? What do I look like on Instagram? The rigid life plan. I'm supposed to be married at a certain place in my life by the time I'm 30 or 40 or 50 or whatever it is. So this is the stage, Kelly, where there's burnout, insomnia, feeling like you're always on the hamster wheel, just one thing to the next, chronic inflammation, gut health issues, many things. So now a big jump happens to stage 3, where now coherence starts to build through understanding the teachings, doing more of the practices. This is where you start to become steady inside of yourself. So this is where you become much more resilient against stress. Heart, brain are really starting to talk. This is where you can flow through and not try to feel like you're controlling everything, right? It's like attachments start to drop. Now you're more connected. It would be great if this worked out, but if it doesn't, I'll still be okay. I would like to be your friend, but if you don't, or you don't want to date me or whatever it is, it's okay. I'll move on. So attachment is this very erratic, sort of chaotic, I need this to work out, I need this job to work out, versus the steadiness of coherence. Then stage 4, this deepens even more, high state of coherence. We move into the devoted heart. So this is where you're not just steady, but devoted to the heart qualities, to love, to compassion, to care, to peace. Now suddenly it's not just rushing through the day. I'm in a rush. I'm not going to let this person into the intersection. You're present, really seeing that person who's, checking you out at Target or whatever, right? You're here moment to moment. High level of emotional intelligence, high level of intuition. And because there's so much coherence, this shows up in your heart field, which we didn't talk about yet, but this is this is a graph from the HeartMath Institute that shows that our heart field is projected out about 8 to 10 feet away from the body, the torus field.
Yeah, the torus.
So when we're in coherence, let's say the devoted heart, things tend to work out better because the energy that you're projecting is harmonious. So it's more like this, Kelly, like, I don't know what it is. What are you working on? I'd love to help out. Or, hey, do you want to go out on a date? So the difference of like propelled heart is like, got to make it happen, pedal to the metal, pushing my way, versus I change my energy and the world changes. And there's still one more stage,
Which is wild.
which is the clear heart. So these are, it sounds like fifth stage, unattainable, but these are the moments, Kelly, where we're not really thinking, right? We're just, our heart then melts with the universal heart. You know, you think of that image again of the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ. It's like, ultimately, we're all one. So this is that experience of so much connection between all our brothers and sisters. We could never harm another or compare. This is where synchronicities and miracles come. I have an amazing story I'll share with you later about that. This is where, you know, you're doing the dishes and you're just kind of like there, not really thinking, or you look into your child's eyes, right? So as we become more coherent, our field changes, and then we want to spend more time in those higher stages and then know how to get out of the lower ones faster.
Thank you for listening to the Heal with Kelly podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. And make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. Oh, and if you found this episode inspiring, please rate, review, and share Heal with Kelly so that we can grow our audience and reach more people. We truly appreciate it. Lots of love.